This week's Parsha Vayetze, which refers to about how Yaakov Avinu was traveling, exiting from one place to the other. Yaakov Avinu represents the Jewish nation. And indeed, the Jewish people have been quite familiar with Vayetze. We have been journeying since day one on. Today I want to share with you a most interesting story which I heard no later than last night about another Vayetze. But before we do that, please join me in reciting the Rebbe's Psalm, the Rebbe's Kapitel Tehillim 123, while praying to Hashem for the safety of our brothers and sisters all over the world, for the release of the hostages and the release of all of us. We're all hostages in this exile. So 123, Shir HaMalos Shananim Habuz Ligei Yoinim. Please take a coin, take a bill, put it in tzedakah, because whatever we do together has additional strength. Where we do things as one, we get special blessing. So here's the story. Last night, I had a great merit, a great zchus to celebrate one of our granddaughters' bas mitzvah, whose name is Hadassah. So Hadassah shared the following story, saying what motivates her in her life as a young shlucha, a child from the Rebbe's shluchim, she herself, so to say, shlucha. What motivates her in her life to do what she needs to do? So she says her namesake, her great-grandmother. At one point in Russia, after the Holocaust, after the war, where a lot of Polish Jews and lahavdil non-Jews fled Poland from the Nazi occupation and went to Russia. Russia welcomed them in all kinds of ways, including stays in Siberia. But at one point Russia decided to reopen the gates of Russian prison, huge prison, and allow all those Polish citizens to return to their homeland. This was a wonderful opportunity for the Jewish community, the Russian Jewish community, Hasidic community, to leave Russia on falsified passports. Somehow they were able to procure themselves false passports, Polish passports. It was actually a group of Chassidim, including Rabbi Futefas, somebody by the name of Leb Kamochki, but it was one woman by the name of Hadassah Garelik. A brilliant young woman, courageous, like amazing, selfless devotion to save people. What they called it the echelons. The people would travel as families or divided their families. Children for one went to somebody else, etc., all depending what kind of passports they were able to get for themselves. So there was two families traveling. And they had a little infant. They had to obviously remember the names exactly of all those false Polish citizens, passports. And somehow they managed doing this. One family, they had to give their baby, their infant, to another couple. That's how it worked out with the passports. I don't know the details exactly, but that's what it was. And this woman, Hadassah Garelik, was traveling along with them. And there was already in a situation they were getting on her heels. They knew that she is involved in this entire program of falsifying passports, etc. Unfortunately, when the passport control on the train came in, the family that had a baby was not sure, showed some questions about the legitimacy, quote unquote, of this passport. And this officer decided that the baby cannot leave and actually took away the baby from them. The parents couldn't say anything because then they would realize that they're also illegal. And unfortunately, that baby was taken away to an orphanage back to Russia. Hadassah, when she saw that, she didn't waver for a second. On the next opportunity, she went off the train and went back to Moscow. Dressed herself as a nurse, somehow got herself into this orphanage and was able to snatch the baby away from that orphanage. I don't know how, but somehow she managed to leave Russia and bring that baby with her back to Israel eventually. 50 odd years later, when they were sitting Shiva for this Hadassah Gerelik, a man walks in, a Hasidic Jew, walks in and says, I was that baby.